Peace and blessings, everyone. This is your girl, Queen of Pentacles, and I am back with a message from the Divine Feminine to help uplift, encourage, and enlighten us in this year, because God knows we could use it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Peace, family. While I shuffle the cards for our reading, here's a little disclaimer from the Queen of Pentacles 1111 herself. And that disclaimer goes out to all you negative Nellies out there who love to spread hate and who love to spread confusion down in the comment section. Now's your time to make your exit. Because I don't play that. I am too loyal and I am too protective of my group of like-minded souls who choose to tune in with me on this day. I am very appreciative of them, and I consider this our safe haven. So from the Queen of Pentacles 1111 to you, don't waste your time. But for my real ones, you know who you are out there, and you know I've got your back. So come through, come vibe with me, and let's lift this veil together. I'll see you on the other side. Cut. All right. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm coming back with just a different kind of message. It's not a pick a card reading. It's just a message from the Divine Feminine, sending in positive messages of upliftment, encouragement, and empowerment in this year into year 2021, because God knows we can definitely use it after the crazy year that we've all had, that the world has had. I just want to push out as much upliftment out into the ether as I possibly can, because it is a very trying time for us. So many people are experiencing different levels of difficulties with what's going on in the world, and some people really just need some kind of encouragement to let them know that there is a bright light ahead. There is a silver lining to this cloud called 2020. So we're going to be getting messages from goddesses, more loving, fluid messages to kind of soothe our souls. And on that note, just a little aside, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the wonderful encouragement that I'm receiving from those of you who have viewed my videos. I am super duper nervous when it comes to this YouTube thing, but I decided to put myself out there, and the reaction that I've gotten from you all is just heartwarming, and it encourages me to keep sending my message out there and doing my work. I also want to give a huge shout out to my soul sister, Twintuitive 717. She has helped me in countless ways. Many of you are watching my video from her channel, so I just want to say peace and blessings onto her, and thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to pull these 3 cards. These cards are from the Divine Feminine Oracle cards, and we are going to get the message from these types of goddesses. It doesn't have to be these actual ones, but this is the message that, the overall message that we're going to get from this reading. All right, so the first one is White Buffalo Calf Woman, and she says, and she is the prophetess of the sacred way. She says, my heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. Wow. The next one is, okay, and if I mispronounce these names, please forgive me. It says, okay, what's happening here? Sorry, Enheduanna, the High Priestess. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. I don't know if you can see these cards, but I'll just leave them like that, okay? The last one is Perpetua, the Saint of Authenticity. I am my authentic self in all my circumstances. All right, so I'm going to start with the tarot cards to see what's going on, and I'll keep referring back to these goddesses throughout the reading. All right, so right off the bat, we're starting with the tarot cards here. I'm eager to see what's in these cards. What can be said about 2020? So many things, my goodness. So the crazy thing is that nobody has been exempt from the madness of 2020. It's like worldwide. I've spoken to people all over the world, from other sides of the world, from where I am, and they're going through the same things. For me, that is like completely mind-blowing. This is something that I'm sure we've never seen before in history. I don't know, but in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this before. In my parents' lifetime, they say the same. So it's quite the trip, as we all know. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. So this card here, the first card that we're going to start with is the Ten of Wands. All right. When I think of the Ten of Wands, I think of a heavy load. Some might say a burden. Some might say hard work. Things that really kind of weigh you down. I think this Ten of Wands card is symbolic, or can be symbolic, of the year 2020, because we've all been affected in some degree or another. For some people, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that heavy. I mean, it was still a shock. But then there are other people, and we have to consider them as well, who have had things very tough this year. Okay, we've had family members maybe who have passed on. Maybe we've lost jobs, you know. People are struggling to feed their family. So this year has been a year of toil, I would say. Like, you're working hard to achieve something when it's like you have these constraints that you can only work within. So you can only achieve so much. If you want to feed your family, okay, you can feed them, but you can't work. And you stay home and you get a certain amount of money. Maybe that's not even as much as you usually get paid when you're working. Or go to work, but then there's this fear that you may catch this illness that's out there. So it's been a very crazy and hectic type of year. But we do know that it is getting better, because I feel that energy, and I know a lot of people do as well. It's also been a year of 2020 vision. A lot of people were saying that when the first year started. Oh, 2020 vision. Little did we know what we were saying at that time. A lot of things have been coming to the surface. I've even seen a lot of divorces, a lot of marriages endings, a lot of nasty little truths coming to the surface that maybe were hidden all the years before. So I think kind of the theme of 2020 is like, things are clearing out, and we're seeing things and people and situations for who and what they truly are. And that can be really heart-wrenching. That could be an emotional upheaval that could just wreak havoc on your mental stability, your mental health. You know, it's not something... Having 2020 vision is just like having your third eye wide open. It's not something that you should take lightly, because it can be very heavy. Everybody thinks it's such a, wonderful experience. Well, I'm going to open my third eye. Yes, that is a wonderful experience, but it could also be a very traumatic one as well. Okay, so let's look at the other cards. That's just a little aside there. Let's look at this other card. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Swords. Yes. We've got the High Priestess. Yes. We've got Temperance. Okay. And the last one we have, my goodness, we can all breathe a sigh of relief, is the Ten of Cups. All right. So let's start off with this. Well, we've already spoken about the Ten of Wands. Let's go into the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords, for me, I just get urgency. I get impatience. You're trying to achieve something. I get that kind of energy where something is like trying to be accomplished. It's not a calm energy, I would say, right? It could work to your benefit for sure, because you're getting things done. You're achieving things. You can talk about ambition, but if we're talking about it in this context with the year 2020, we get more of an anxious vibe, an impatient vibe, a vibe of being tense. Even me, like, I'm feeling tense and stuff just thinking about this year and everything we've gone through. So I think that's across the board. I don't think there's anybody who was completely at ease with this year 2020. I think it kind of threw everybody for a loop, and for some people it rocked us to our core. So I think it's something that we all collectively need to kind of pull ourselves out of, no matter what 2021 brings. So then we can move on now to the Temperance card, and we move on to the High Priestess cards. These two cards are telling me how we can overcome those negative and heavy feelings that we have concerning the year 2020. Temperance. When I think temperance, you see here we got duality. Duality to me means balance. Here you have the moon, you have the sun, right? And he has wings. He has angel wings, which makes me think of like, well, not necessarily angel wings, but wings, which makes me think of elevation and ascension. And ascension now brings me on to the High Priestess. And as you can see in this card, the High Priestess has a light on her third eye. So what I'm getting from that message now is that yes, 2020 has been a rough one with lots of burdens, heavy burdens to carry. But now it is time to offload those burdens, let go of them, set them down somewhere else, because we are carrying and dealing with and struggling with a lot of things that are completely out of our control. What 2020 is now telling us, and what we should be striving towards or trying to achieve for 2021, is dealing with the things that we can control. We can control ourselves. We can control our elevation, our vision, our ascension, right? If you want to upgrade your spirituality, you can do that. When I think of temperance, I think of taking time. I think of the word in French, temps, which means time. You take time, balance yourself. I get like a quietness. In the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, the Temperance card has a woman who's pouring water from vessel to vessel. And I think of trying to temper something, meaning not too much hot, not too much cold, right? You want things to be balanced. We want it to be a happy medium. And I think that's what we need to do going into this next year. We need to not get too, not to watch the news too much, right? But not cut ourselves off completely from what's going on in the world. We have to kind of gain a new perspective where 2020 is concerned, and calm our own selves down, temper our own selves, because it's happening, and nothing we can do is really going to change that. So we need to actually look within ourselves and see how we can change our own realities. And the High Priestess here talks about, going, trying to open up that spiritual side of yourself, get in touch with it, and look within. That says to me like meditation, those types of spiritual things that can kind of open you up and take you out of this real physical, scary, heavy reality, and open up new doors, different ways of thinking of things, of getting in touch with your spirit guides or your ancestors or the universe, nature. Those things are very, very important. And I think we need to bring things back to basics and more simpler times, and not get too wrapped up in everything else that's going on around us. We also have here this last card. This is what I want us to concentrate on, the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups here is showing a family on the beach in a hammock. All your cups are full. They're bright. They look like they're vibrating. Everybody's happy and relaxed and calm. Everything looks like it's well in balance. And I think that's the message that we're getting here. We need to try and find our balance. Our balance. There are things that we can't control in this world that are going on, but we need to find the balance within to be able to cope with it. Not necessarily to stop what's happening, because not one man can stop it, but to cope with it. All right. Oh, look at this card here. Here are the oracle cards. We've got healing. Now is the time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, even you. And we got another rainbow here. We've got lots of rainbows here, right? If you think about how you feel when you see a rainbow, happiness, right? It's a rare sight, but it's a beautiful one. It usually comes out after a rainstorm or after rain, right? And the sun comes out. So they're saying healing. Healing needs to take place. Your healing is amazing, but you can also heal others. Heal yourself first, and then you can heal others in this hectic, crazy time. You can heal them by doing good deeds. You can heal them by letting them vent to you. Sorry about that, guys. Had some technical difficulties. Okay, so where were we? We just finished with the healing card. Yes, now's the time to heal. You can definitely heal yourself, but you can also heal others in this time. This is a time where everybody's struggling, so any way you can heal somebody else is a blessing for sure. And there's so many different ways that you can heal people. You can heal them by giving them your time, either donating money, or you can even just be a shoulder to cry on, or an ear listening to someone vent. That is huge for a lot of people. This is a time, if you think about it, where we're supposed to be staying away from each other, and that brings a lot of loneliness, because there are a lot of people who don't have that much family around them, so maybe they have to travel to go and see their loved ones. And with all the lockdowns and the quarantining that's been going on, a lot of people can feel a sense of loneliness and isolation. So even just giving a phone call to seeing how somebody's doing can help heal them and bring them a lot of comfort during these times. All right, so we have a message here that says acceptance. You're ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. So basically what I get from this card is just basically saying, you know what, accept what's going on in this world right now. I'm talking about things that we cannot control, and it's not even I guess you could say it is the rhythm of life, but the rhythm of life is that there are good times, there are bad times. It's like an ebb and flow. There are times where things go smoothly, and there are times when where things are more rocky, and you just have to kind of embrace that. And like I said before, figure out how to cope with it, as opposed to trying, to fight it and struggle against it. There are a lot of things we can't control in this life, especially now. We just got to learn how to go within maybe and heal ourselves, and then become a source of healing for other people, and keep passing it along to make this, the end of 2020 and into 2021, a more easy one. So like I said, it says release control of situations. Release control of situations, but don't release control of yourself. This card says, I let grace lead the way. Take the first step and you'll be shown the next step and the one after that. Know that life will love you every step of the way. So what I get from that card is just kind of like, have mercy on yourself as well. Like, have grace on yourself. You don't need to be too hard on yourself, especially in this time. Like, I saw something on Instagram or something the other day that said, like, was asking people what they accomplished by the end of this year. And a lot of people are like, well, a lot of us just accomplished staying healthy and being alive. For this crazy year, that is a lot. So I agree with that. Don't be too mean on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. This is a time where you need to kind of preserve your mental health, preserve your sanity and your emotional health, and just take it easy on yourself. With all the craziness and the confusion that's going on in this world and the fear, the last thing you need to do is be extra hard on yourself and saying that you should have achieved this, you should have achieved that by the end of the year. This year is a write-off anyway. Okay, so it says, I'm willing to let love in. Open your arms wide and say, I'm willing to let love in. It is safe to let love in, and repeat that 3 times. Yeah, so another way we can get through this year and whatever's coming in 2021, and this goes for any year really. This kind of stuff like has just been brought to the forefront because it is 2020, but really if you think about it, every year comes with its, gains and its wins and its fails and its losses and its hardships and the obstacles. And these things are things that are really timeless, because letting love in, that's something we should do now, absolutely, because we're kind of separated from our loved ones a lot of the time. I know where I am right now. We're in a lockdown, and you can only have 5 people in your home, or I guess in your company at a time, and you'll get fined if you have more than that, and that's up until the 21st of December. And then after that, we'll see. But it's like you can only, I have a huge family and I can only see a little bit of my family for this long. I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow, but you know what? It has taught me to love those that I have around me a lot harder and a lot healthier. So these are messages that are really timeless in nature. I mean, it applies to 2020, but for sure it applies to the years to come as well. This says, I follow my joy. Your thoughts influence the kind of day you'll have. Name 3 ways you could make today even more enjoyable than you thought it was going to be. Yeah, I agree with that. It says, you know, to follow your joy. I believe and that happiness is a choice. And it took a while for me to understand that, but it's the truth. When you get up in the morning, you have to decide what kind of day you're going to have. Whether things are the way you want them to be or not the way you want them to be, you still have to make a decision. Am I going to make this a productive day that I can get through with my sanity intact? You know, am I going to be a light that encourages other people, my children, my spouse, or just the people who come into contact with me? Or am I going to let situations kind of bog me down? And that sounds easier said than done. Yeah, I get it. It's very hard with the things that go on in this world. It's hard to every day get up and make happiness a choice. But like I said before, be gracious towards yourself. Have mercy on yourself. It doesn't have to be every day you get up and you're jumping, you know, for joy and tap dancing. But if you can make it one day where you decide, you know what, I'm not getting down in the dumps. I'm going to look at things on the positive end of the spectrum. And you go to bed at night and you had a good day. Okay, good. You knock that off as one day. You know, you chose happiness. If the next day is not so great, that's cool. The day after that, you get up and you try again. This says, precious time. The fairy of time wants you to experience every moment fully. Just said that. And to make the most of your precious time. Be mindful not to waste others' time either. That's exactly what I was just talking about. Choosing happiness and understanding that time is something that we don't have a lot of. And from one moment to the next, we don't know how we're going to be spending it. So like last year at this time, December, we certainly weren't believing that this would have been happening this year. So I know in some situations maybe people could be wishing that they could go back because they would have spent more time with some loved ones, or maybe use their time a little bit wisely. And the worst thing to have on your mind is like kind of regrets, you know, because now sometimes we're forced, we can't see certain loved ones. So instead of having those types of regrets later on, or in the future, I should say, now is a good time to start to appreciate the loved ones that you have close to you. The fact that we can still FaceTime and Skype and WhatsApp and call people on the phone. Those things are blessings, and we shouldn't take those things for granted, and we should use them to like the best of our abilities, as take full advantage of them, because they are a godsend in times where people really can't go and see their families. Which could be quite devastating for some people. This oracle card says hope. Hope is always there, even if we can't see it. Optimistic expectations can help change a negative situation into a positive one. And then we have another rainbow. Wow, rainbows, rainbows. Okay, rainbows are a sign of good luck, and they just make you happy. They're colorful, they're pretty. So have hope in this kind of situation. Like I said before, don't let it get you down in the dumps every day. It does get to you sometimes, you know, the hardship of especially not being able to see family members or people falling ill. These are difficult, real deal situations that we have to deal with. We've all had to face this year. And, but they're telling you here, spirit world, the divine feminine is telling you not to lose hope. Keep leading with love. Open your heart, not only for your own situation and your own loved ones, but to other people out there who may be struggling or who may be in a tougher situation than you are at this time. That's the gist that I'm getting so far from this reading, is no matter how hard things are, follow your joy, lead with love, have hope, all of those wonderful emotions. We have to try and get back to those. to erase some of the fear and the negativity and the pessimism, the confusion, those heavy, heavy negative energies. We need to kind of push them to the side. And the only way we'll be able to do that is with love, is with, you know, being open, helping people, that type of stuff. We have this here, self-love. You realize that love of self is necessary to love another. There you go. Yes, that is the truth. You have to be able to love yourself in this time. Like I said, be gracious with yourself, have mercy on yourself, be kind to yourself. Once you do that and you build yourself up, only then will you be able to help others and love yourself. Because if you're beating yourself down every day, and abusing yourself mentally and emotionally, you definitely are not going to be fit to help anybody else in this time, whether you want to or not. No matter what your intentions are, if you're giving yourself a hard time and you're being rough on yourself, you're of no use to anybody else. So this is a time when first, yes, you have to love yourself. Let the love in, lead with love, build yourself up, build up that self-confidence, look around you, be grateful for what you have, and then you'll be able to extend that love to somebody else. This card says commitment. You dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the essence of your very being. Okay, so make love be who you are. You just have to nowadays. I mean, what else do we have? It almost seems like so much has been taken away. A lot of freedoms and a lot of controls have been placed on us, which can make, you know, situations seem really kind of claustrophobic. I'm claustrophobic in nature, so that's the best way I could describe it. But it's like the walls are just kind of closing in and stuff like that. And it's hard to lose yourself in situations like that. That's when anxiety kicks in. That's when fear and doubt kick in. But if you, like I said before, don't let those things overshadow the love. And it may seem like such a simple, petty kind of cliche thing, like to talk about love and letting love in and love your neighbor and this, that, the other. But honestly, those things work. You need to love yourself first. You need to appreciate the time that you have. You need to be grateful. You need to love those around you. Those things, it's like so simple, but at this point, that's all we have. And really, that's the only thing that will carry us through the hardships of this year into next year. This says discernment. You are developing the skill to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusion. There you go. Okay, I was just saying that. Erase the fear, erase the illusion, bring in love, and you can't fail. You just cannot fail. But yes, you have to be able to discern those things with all the information that's going on and being passed around through social media, the news, even from word of mouth, like from people to people. There's a lot of information going around, true and untrue, and it can be really scary and really overwhelming. But it's up to you to have a kind of discerning mind to be able to say, okay, I don't know what the answer is, but I'm not going to let it, you know, scare me into not living my life or keeping away from my loved ones, not being loving towards people. You know, that needs to stop. That we look at people nowadays like we're in fear of them, which totally makes sense. For sure, keep your distance, keep your masks on, absolutely. But I mean, we can still speak to each other. We can still ask our neighbors how they're doing. We could still, you know, lend a helping hand however we can, through safe means, of course, you know, that are not going to get you in trouble, through the within the guidelines that we've been provided, of course. But I mean, let's not lose faith in humanity, and let's not stop being human beings. You know, it can be really overwhelming and it can be alienating, but I feel like if we just remember that love is free and you can you should love yourself. It takes you nothing to do that. And secondly, I mean, passing the love on to someone else. And love meaning just caring about someone else, giving them a call, asking if they have any food in their house, if you can go pick up some groceries. Think of the elderly people out there who may need an extra hand at this time, those who have special needs or disabilities, you know, moms maybe who are single moms with children and need help to get to a grocery store and don't want to bring their children in the store. And There's so many people you can help in so many different ways. First, start with yourself and then extend the help out. All right. So this card here says fire magic. When I hear fire magic, I think of candles. And when I think of candles, I think of, you know, intention candles and those types of things. I think of sage and, you know, smudging your home, Palo Santo. I think of all those wonderful ways of cleansing your home. Sorry guys, my voice is getting raspy. You know, cleansing your home and cleansing your space to make it a safe haven for yourself, to love yourself and do things that will help you become a more loving human being in this crazy year called 2020 into 2021. That is another way that we can kind of quell some of the and get rid of some of the fears and the anxieties is by doing things like that. Sage, burning candles, even if it means having a bath with scented candles, anything to kind of get rid of that anxiety. And because anxiety is at an all-time high. Everybody is stressed. Everybody's worried, you know, and I think that is something, sorry, I'm just looking at the messages here. That is something we need to do. We need to get back to ourselves and try and figure out how we individually, first and foremost, can calm ourselves in these types of hectic situations. And then maybe when we learn how to do it, we can teach somebody else how they can calm themselves. And the last thing that our divine feminine goddesses are saying to us is to have strength and resilience. This is a time where being strong and strength looks like many different things. It comes in many different ways. We're not just talking about physically strong. We're not just talking about not crying or saying, well, I'm not scared, I'm not worried, I'm not anxious. We're not talking about that. We're talking about strength comes in so many different ways and it looks different to so many different people. Strength and resilience are everything at this point. Now is the time where, okay, if one thing doesn't work out for you, you got to look to something else. Unfortunately, if you've lost this job, then maybe look for this job. Find a different way to make money. You know, a lot of beauty has come out of this time because a lot of people have explored their entrepreneurial abilities. So being strong and staying resilient, not giving up, is of the utmost importance. And this is not the year to give up. This is not the year to give up. Yes, we've gone through the hardship, but we need to stick around for future years to see how this story plays out. And the story plays out how you want it to. How are you going to handle this the rest of this year? And how are you going to go into the new year? I believe that we all need to keep positive and we all need to be there for each other. And with that, I think this is the end of the reading. I wish you all the best. I wish us all the best. And I hope something resonated with you in this reading. Thank you once again so much for tuning in. Peace and blessings. You are appreciated. All the best. Take care.